Hey there, you wonderful listeners. I have a question for you. Do you want to make a podcast? Well, Spotify's got a platform that lets you make one super easily and then distribute it everywhere and even earn money all in one place and for free. How can you beat that? It's called Spotify for Podcasters. And here is how it works. Spotify for Podcasters lets you record and edit podcasts right from your phone or computer. So no matter what your setup is like, you can start creating today. Then you can distribute your podcast to Spotify and everywhere else podcasts are heard. Video podcasts are also available on Spotify. And when you want to take conversations with your fans to the next level, there are Q&A and poll options available, and those are the best way to get them talking. With Spotify for Podcasters, you can earn money in a variety of ways, including ads and podcast subscriptions. And best of all, it's totally free with no catch. Ever since I've discovered Spotify for Podcasters, it has made doing my shows like the Steam Machine Podcast, Yabs Pod, and the JRPG Report much, much easier to do. Like being able to just go on there, record them, upload it, boom, it's done. I don't have to pay for a site service to host or anything like that. It's fantastic. So I highly recommend that you give it a try. Download the Spotify for Podcasters app or go to www.spotify.com/podcasters to get started today.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Steam Machine Podcast. My name is Dalton, and joining me as always is my good buddy.
This is Ryan.
And this week, man, there's some cool stuff. There's some cool stuff coming out, but real quick, before we get to that, I would like to say that we were guests on Maelstrom Radio, and it was a blast. And if you missed it live on Twitch, they will be posting the podcast version here soon, and we will be sharing that on our social medias and such. I know I had a good time. I know you said you did as well. It was fun talking to those guys.
Definitely fun. It's definitely fun.
And we hope to be on there again, and maybe one day we'll pull a game that's up their alley, and we can have them come on here with us.
We'll have to do like a Fall Guys episode or something like that, and get them on there.
Yeah, since we'll
do like a Twitch episode for that one.
Yeah, that would be cool. We added that to our list because of those guys. They pretty much sold it on us.
I was sold on it to begin with because it just looks ridiculous. MXC, Most Extreme Elimination Challenge style gameplay. But yeah, them talking about it yesterday just like pushed it over the edge that I caved and bought it today. So.
Oh yeah, dude. I don't blame you. I'm gonna get it too eventually, so we'll be able to play together. But for now, I'm going to play it while you're asleep.
Yeah.
So check out those guys, Maelstrom Radio. I think you could just search. I know I searched Maelstrom Radio on Twitter, Twitch. They come up. You'll see
Twitter, Twitch, Facebook. I think they even have their own website, maelstromradio.com.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Pretty cool group. Pretty cool guys. Appreciated them allowing us to come on there and talk about ourselves. It was awesome.
Yeah, for sure. And we hope to, go on there again once we're a little further into the show. Maybe our opinions will have changed on what our shittiest game and greatest game has been.
It will forever and always be Corpse Party Blood Drive and Tiny Bridge Rat Venture. Forever and always. It's going to be really hard to find a game worse than those.
I loved that they knew, that Peter knew what Tiny Bridge was. I was like, yeah dude, it's rough.
That was impressive. I was convinced that maybe we were only like one of like 50,000 people in the entire world to know what that game is. But
right, all right. So I know there's a few things that I would like to bring up, but you have more knowledge on it, so I'm going to let you go ahead and talk about it. So in the vein of video games, not only is there a new movie in the DC world coming out, but there's a new game. So hit us with it, Ryan.
Yeah, the DC fandom just happened recently, and goddamn, if DC didn't win the internet, they probably should have. Like, all of the new releases and projects that they are working on coming out, all of them look amazing. The Justice League Snyder Cut teaser trailer that they dropped for the HBO Max streaming service.
Yeah.
makes it look like a completely new movie, a completely different project from the fucking dumpster fire that got released in theaters. Whatever Whedon and Warner Brothers did to that movie, they didn't do it gently. They like whatever they did to that movie sucked. But the Snyder Cut version looks absolutely incredible. And then
Awesome.
going along with the Justice League, we got more info about the new Rocksteady game, the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, I believe is what it's going to be titled. And just based off that title, sounds like it's going to be a tough gameplay. I mean, if you are playing as a group of villains going hunting down the Justice League one by one, that sounds absolutely 100% a bad time. Like, that's not going to be fun.
Yeah, that
That's not going
sounds
to be
rough.
fun. What else did they drop? They dropped the trailer for the newest game in the Arkham series, which is being worked on by WB Montreal, and that is going to be Gotham Knights. And they pretty much put a spoiler. They pretty much spoiled the game with this trailer release. Like, I'm sure they're going to have some stuff and elements to the game that are going to still be shocking to fans.
Yeah.
But in the trailer, when you start off saying that Bruce Wayne is dead, Batman is no more, kind of a big spoiler. Like,
I mean, maybe that's might be just setting the tone for the game.
yeah, for sure, because it looks like the playable characters are going to be Dick Grayson, Nightwing, Jason Todd, Red Hood, Batgirl, and Tim Drake, Robin. And I mean, that's the Bat family. It's a solid Bat family. When you first sent me that thing, I didn't read the article or anything like that. I just saw that the caption for the article said Bruce Wayne is dead, and then I saw those four in there, and I was like, fuck yeah, this is going to be Battle for the Cowl. Like, you guys are going to be fighting against each other to see who's going to become the new Batman. But it looks like this gameplay is going to focus on the Bat family's control over Gotham with the Court of Owls, which is a brutal syndicate that they're like a shadow organization that the conspiracy theorists love to throw out there. They're essentially like the Illuminati.
That's
they
cool.
They have their own like version of Batman, which is Talon, and he's going to be one hell of a fight for sure. For sure. This game is going to have online co-op mode, which is probably going to be really handy, especially for that Talon fight.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm looking forward to that. And then they dropped the first teaser trailer for the Batman.
Yeah.
And
yeah. This is what
I've must have watched this teaser probably about 40 times already, because I just can't get enough of it. Like, it looks like it's going to be the Batman film to end all Batman films. Like, they haven't even finished production on 10% of this movie yet, and they gave us this trailer. Like, it's unreal how good it looks.
Yeah, they're
Any
doing
doubts I may have had for the casting, whether it is like Robert Pattinson as Batman, Colin Farrell as Penguin, Paul Dano as Riddler, have just been completely thrown out. Like, they're all going to destroy their roles. They're all going to own them in their own way. And this is going to be incredible. I believe Matt Reeves is directing it, and he has done what all of the other Batman movies should have done and gone a super dark, super gritty, almost noir-esque style with this film. And it's going to blow everything. It's going to blow everything away.
Yeah, I mean, it's about time to me that Batman stopped trying to be so much of a superhero and they really started showing like more of like the detective, like trying to actually figure stuff out instead of trying to fight.
That's what he is. That's what he's the world's greatest detective. And I am so glad that they are skipping the origin story. They're stealing a page from the MCU with Spider-Man. Like, when he's introduced into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, he's already Spider-Man. Everyone knows the origin story. We've already seen it probably 3-4 times. We don't need to see it again. We already know it. Everyone knows it. Like, just they jump right into it. Like, he's year 2 Batman. He's a very, very young Batman, but he's already Batman. We don't need to see that origin story again.
Yeah.
And that's the direction that this, hopefully it's going to be more than one movie, is going to take. Like,
yeah. Well, I'm excited for it. I haven't watched the trailer nearly as much as you, but I was like, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was Colin Farrell until somebody told me. So.
Yeah. No, he's pulled his best Gary Oldman impression and completely hid into the role of makeup. But like me and the other DC fandom have watched this trailer enough that they've already deciphered the code that the Riddler left in the trailer on the greeting card for Batman with the encrypted symbols and shit. It's already been decoded. Like we've already solved that riddle. It wasn't very hard.
What's it say?
But it says oh god, what was the actual riddle? And it's like, what happens to a liar when they're dead? And the answer is like, he still lies because they're lying still, but they're still a liar. Like that's what it was. It wasn't very climactic. It was super simple that it was cracked by somebody within like 2 hours of the release of the trailer. But
it's impressive though that people hopped on it that quick.
Yeah. I just can't wait for more footage. And in the same vein of that, I hope they don't give us more footage. Just that one trailer. That's all you get. Like, don't ruin any more aspect to the movie by giving us more trailers that show more shit. This trailer has pumped that hype level up 1,000%. They need to leave it at that and just ride it to release, and it's gonna blow. It's gonna blow box office records. It really is.
I think so too, man. I think so too. Well, if there's nothing else that you have to say about the DC stuff.
No, the fandom, they won the internet. Gold star for them.
Yes, a gold covered star. So, well, that brings us to our game of the week this week, and Smooth Skins. That means it's Fallout 4. And I know I'm gonna go throw out there. I know that I am much further in this game than you. I have a lot more. I have a lot more free time than you. So this might be the first good example of casual gamer, hardcore gamer. So you'll probably learn some things from things that I talk about, but that might give you things to avoid in your playthrough type. But I'm going to do my best to not spoil too much for you.
Yeah, this might be the first game too where you actually like roll credits and I don't, and we just
move that's
on
fine.
To the next game.
Yeah. And that's fine because
this is one of the longer titles, especially with all the spiderweb quests. And then with me going back to work and having the 1-year-old and the other baby due in 4 weeks now, it's my gaming time is really going to get cut down for a little bit. But it's not going to stop me. It's just going to go back to being that super casual gamer.
Well, that's what I was going
to
say.
I'll probably end up watching you more on Discord playing the games than I will play them myself.
And I'm fine with that. Like like I told you, I think it would be a cool dynamic to see, like, you know, how somebody with a limited amount of gaming time like you and me, who has all the time in the fucking world to game right now until I can find some work again, and just how we break down and how we play some of these different longer games. I do not expect you to finish some of these games that are 80, 90 hours.
Yeah.
Some of those, honestly, I probably won't even finish. Just play it enough to give a good review of what we played or how we feel about the game, and maybe it's something we go back and finish eventually, maybe not, you know. If we get a really good game that's, say, 60, 70 hours long, and we do 2 weeks of it worth of it, then maybe we'll have a little vote. Maybe we'll leave it on the list to finish at another point, or
that'll be something like, if we know we get a really long game, but you know both of us are going to enjoy like rolling credits on it, we can like kind of save that or plan that for a window where we know I'm going to have time.
Yeah.
Like I know working at the university, especially with this whole pandemic thing going and shifting the academic calendar, I'm going to have off from Thanksgiving until after New Year's. So I'm going to have a month and a half of free time. I mean, granted, I have the children, but a month and a half like this quarantine is more than enough time for us to really dive into a lengthy, detailed game like we've done for a couple of the games that we've done over this quarantine before my work started back up.
Yeah, and that might be a good time for us to try to tackle another long one, like maybe Skyrim or Grand Theft Auto 5, something like that, you know, like one of the longer ones.
For sure.
We'll figure it out when we get there. But, so, with that being said, this first episode, I'm not going to dive too much into the story. I'm going to touch on the beginning of it. I just want to kind of talk about character creation, some of the mods that I'm using, because I am using mods. The only mod that I hooked you up with was the unofficial patches to make your game run smoother.
Yeah.
And the achievements mod. For anybody who wants those Steam achievements, but they also want to use mods, there is a mod out there called Achievements, and basically all it does is adds a file that allows your game to give you achievements even though you're using mods. Because even if you just want to use the unofficial patches mod, that still counts. You don't get any achievements when you're using it. So that fixes that. But anyways,
Yeah.
Fallout 4 is a post-apocalyptic role-playing game developed by Bethesda Game Studios. Oh, I should say, I am now reading from Wikipedia. And published by Bethesda Softworks. It is the 5th major installment in the Fallout series, but the 8th overall. And was released on Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One on November 10th, 2015, except in Japan, where it was released on December 17th, due to the need to censor some footage and references to atomic war while keeping the plot still intact. Because I guess in Japan, I mean, understandably so, they're a little sensitive to atomic war stuff.
Yeah.
So basically, you play as the survivor of Vault 111. The game starts off, and you are in a mirror, kind of just looking around, and you this is where you choose your character, whether you want to be the male lead or the female lead.
Yeah.
I went male. I know you went female.
I went female for sure.
Yes. You,
If I get that option, I always go that option because there aren't enough like strong female leads in video games, and if you give me the option, I'm gonna fucking do it.
Oh, you were going to love Horizon Zero Dawn if that's the way you feel.
Probably.
Because Aloy is a bad bitch. Okay, so anyway.
Well, good. It's why one of the reasons why I'm looking forward to Assassin's Creed Valhalla as well.
Dude,
Just
side note.
gameplay, yeah.
I was just going to say, the female lead from Valhalla looks like a beefy version of my friend, I don't want to say her actual name, so we'll say Hyperpixie, the streamer that is my friend. Dude, they look a lot alike. I told her she should hit the weights and cosplay as her.
Right. You know, Sarah Logan from WWE is gonna fucking own that shit too.
Oh yeah. Actually, I think she got released.
She's pregnant. I don't know if she got released. If she did get released, then good for her. But she might be on maternity leave as well. I don't know.
Oh, okay, well, that's cool.
But she might have been told to step away for a little while. But.
Okay, so the game takes place in Boston, Massachusetts. Famous local landmarks like the Paul Revere Monument, the USS Constitution, as well as the Massachusetts State House with its unique golden dome are included in the game. And other notable locations to make an appearance are Scully Square, renamed Good Neighbor, Bunker Hill, and Fenway Park, which is renamed Diamond City.
Yeah.
The events
doing some research on this, it's like a lot of the elements are there of Boston, but it extends further out than that. It covers a good portion of like the New England Commonwealth. It extends beyond Boston, goes into the foothills of central Massachusetts and southern New Hampshire. Shit like that.
Yeah, because they call it the Commonwealth. That's what everybody refers to.
Yeah. But it hits familiar. I've been to that area before, and I've been to Fenway, been to Boston. I've recognized some of the landmarks, at least in some stills from the game that I have seen and shit like that. So it's going to be interesting to get further into this game to see that area itself.
Yeah, you'll actually get to roam around and see. It's almost like how I felt when I was in New York playing Spider-Man. And I was like, oh, hey, I was just here with my brother on this walkway. I can't remember what it's called. The Greenway, I think it's called. Yeah. So this game takes place in 2287, which is 10 years after Fallout 3 and then 6 years after New Vegas.
Interesting.
One cool little feature that I'm going to bring up before I dive into what mods and stuff I'm using is this game features just over 111,000 lines of dialogue.
Jesus Christ.
More than all of the dialogue in Fallout 3 and Skyrim combined. There's
Why so much dialogue?
Because there's just a lot of people that have a lot of things to say.
Apparently. And
I don't know if that counts just dialogue between talking to people or if it counts like reading the stuff in the computers.
Well, I know what is it? What's his name? Codsworth, the AI. God, just the names that he is able to read off, that list is massive. So that's got to be part of that. Each one of those names has to be considered a line of dialogue in that number.
I love that they embraced the immaturity of gamers too, because if you look through that list, like some of the things he says is like titties and
fuck and titties and
fuck
boobs,
face.
boobies, boob face.
Yeah, fuck face.
Yeah.
Oh man. The one thing he won't say though is if you name your character Sean, he won't call you Sean.
No,
because your son's name is Sean.
Oh, interesting.
So it's just like would throw this weird thing. So I guess it doesn't work.
Well, I'm surprised they don't give you the option to change it to like Junior if you name yourself like the game doesn't. If you name yourself Sean, the game doesn't name the kid Sean. But
Sean
what did
John.
you what did you name your character? Is it Codsworth approved?
Yes. My character's name is Ziggy Vega.
Ziggy Vega.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And he's got a
Oh,
go ahead.
You know, your characters always go for some just like weird short ass names, like Nile Ohala for fucking pirates and shit like that.
Yeah.
You're just-
The name that I use for fantasy games usually is Cardugo Vaughn.
I would put the Vaughn in front. Vaughn Cardugo.
Vaughn Cardugo.
It sounds more upscale, high society.
Well, when you're playing an orc, it's kind of hard to feel high society.
Hey, he could be like the Duke of Orkland. You never know.
The Duke of Orsinium.
Yeah, something like that.
So, what did you name your character? I know, like you said.
My character, her name is Charlie Valkyrie,
Nice.
and yeah, I don't know why I went with Valkyrie. I think
Sounds-
Corinne actually named her.
Sounds
Like,
straight
she
out of a
was-
sci-fi movie.
Yeah, it does. It's probably her post-apocalyptic name. She forgot her real name and just. I mean, you're in cryo sleep for 210 years. Like,
Yeah. Oh, speaking of, so the way the game starts is you guys are in the mirror. That's where you make your character, and it's happy family, 50s style, maybe even 40s. Just everyone's happy-go-lucky.
it's really weird that style of living has extended all the way into 2077.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
we're now 2020, and we look back at that time, and it's like, fuck, that was forever ago. Society has changed so much since that, like, nuclear family 50s dynamic. Like,
Yeah, and then it's just like the whole Fallout series has kind of always been, what if that just kept going? Yeah, the nuclear power, and no one really started to shift away. So all the cars you see run off nuclear power. That's why in the game, if you start shooting a car, that thing will blow up in a small mushroom cloud.
oh, fantastic.
Like,
Good to know.
boom. Yeah. So if you're ever in a pickle and there's a bunch of ghouls and they're around a vehicle, light that
Yeah.
vehicle up. It'll take care of
Yeah.
them for you.
For sure.
So Codsworth tells you that your coffee's hot, all this stuff, and your wife comes in. She's talking to you, and then you hear a knock on your door. Or maybe it was the doorbell rings, one of the two. And my wife, or it was your husband, but my wife was like, my wife.
And my wife.
My wife. she was like, could you answer the door? He's been coming for you every day. Yeah, sure. So I go open the door, and he's like, hi, Vault-Tec here. And I'm just like, sup, what the fuck do you want? And he's like, I want to sell you some stuff. It's like, well, I don't want what you're selling. I think you do. Do you want, it's basically like, do you want everlasting life? Would you like to join the Church of Mormonism? So, he ends up, I'm just like, yeah, sure, it's better safe than sorry. And signed up. And from watching you play the beginning of it, I think you handled it pretty much the same way I did.
Yeah, well, I wasn't so as much as confrontational as you were. Like,
No.
I knew it was coming, so I sat there at the front window, or at the front door, staring out the window, watching him talking to the neighbors across the street, and then watched him walk all the way up to my door. And he's like, Vault-Tec here. And I was like, cool, give me the papers. I want to sign them now. Like, it's like, you already sold me just by telling me who you were. I don't need any more pitching. And based on his dialogue, he didn't expect those answers. He got a little like, it's like, oh, why are you so eager to sign these papers? Like, I don't know. Maybe there was some subtly racist programmer on this that made him act different to my strong black female lead.
Oh, I can tell you no. I've played this game, the intro, so many times that even if you're a white dude, he's like, so you are.
Gotcha.
You are.
So
Yeah.
it's not like the dicks who made the South Park game where the difficulty's actually based on the color of your skin.
No. But, dude, that's just
Which
South
one was
Park.
that was the fractured button. No, that was
the Stick of Truth.
The Stick of Truth, yeah.
The Stick of
Fuck
Truth.
that. Fuck those guys. Like,
It's only because Cartman is guiding you through the thing. So I don't think it will actually be harder I think Cartman is not your friend as easily if you're a black kid. Because I know if you make your character black in that game and then you choose the job Jew, Cartman's like, Oh, so I guess we're never gonna be friends then. It's like, oh my god.
It's so fucked. It's like,
It is, man. But that's the way I look. That's just South Park. Like they push the envelope. That is
do
what
we
they
have?
do.
Yeah, the next season, the 2020 season, is going to be epic.
Amazing. They're both on our list. Both games.
Are they? Fantastic.
Stick of Truth and Fractured Butthole. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Okay. So back to it. Right after this dude talks to you, Codsworth is like, I'm a robot and I don't have emotions. This baby needs emotional care. I need one of you to come in here and to be a fucking parent because I changed his diaper, I fed him, and he's still crying. So I'm like, all right. You walk in there, and your wife or husband just suddenly warps to the doorway behind you, and they're like, how are my two favorite people in the world doing? And it's, I'm doing fine. Spin the mobile. He loves that. Like, what baby fucking doesn't? So you spin the mobile, and baby quiets down, and then your wife's or husband, I guess, is like, I was thinking we could go to the park after lunch. What do you say about that? And you have a couple choices here. You can say, yeah, that sounds great, which is what I always say, because I've learned happy wife, happy life, so you keep the wife happy. So the other choices are like, nah, I think I'd rather sit at home and watch TV. Why the fuck would that be fun? Or why? Or just like, yeah, all right, I guess that sounds all right.
My answer was, why can't, or let's just go get pumpkins for Halloween. That was my response. That was one of my options. I don't know if that is the dialogue at this point like preset, or are there a couple different variables that can pop up?
I've never played as a girl, so I can't tell you. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I do know that dialogue is different depending on if you're a male or female. Like, people will react to you differently.
Gotcha. So maybe the jack-o'-lantern Halloween pumpkin reference was just something female specific.
That's a possibility.
I mean, fall is pumpkin spice basic bitch season. Han Solo season, as I like to call it. The black yoga pants and the North Face sweaters come out. They all look like Han Solo.
They're big Ugg boots.
Yeah.
Yeah. At that point, you hear, "Sir, Mom, you should come and see this." And you run into the living room to see the news reporter talking about nuclear detonations across the country. And then it goes to a please stand by screen, and you're just like, oh, fuck, we got to get to the vault now. And your significant other has the right of mind, unlike your character who just bolts out the door. Your significant other grabs the kid and then comes barreling after you, and then you guys have to make your way to the vault. Now, here's where
Didn't I try to turn around, like my character bolted through the door? Didn't I try to like turn my character around and be like, "Where's my baby?"
Yeah, you did. You turned around and saw that your husband was carrying the baby, and you were like, "Oh, okay." So then you start running, and I had to tell you, "Don't keep running that way. Don't keep running away. Don't keep running that way," because right at the beginning you can get a game over. Because if you don't run the right way and you run off trying to go explore the world before you go into the vault, the bomb drops and you fucking die, and you have to reload. So once they got you running the right way, you head over to the vault. The guy who just sold you on getting signed up for the vault, they're not letting him in because he is not actually on the list. And he's like, "Are you fucking kidding me? I am Vault Tech."
Fucking capitalism right there.
He's literally in a Vault Tech like
We're
uniform.
gonna exploit you for your labor, but you get no fruits of that labor. Like,
And you're just like, "Let me in." And they're like, and here's what doesn't make sense. There's no names, of course, because they can't do that. They're like, infant, male, female. All right, it checks out. Y'all can come in. How does that work? And just walks up and they're like, all right, you have a baby and a wife. All right, you're good. Come in.
they have some like secret eugenics plan where they're just picking people based on look and based on sex, so that for repopulating the Earth, they can make like a master race. Like,
well, I mean, my guy was pretty buff.
yeah. And my character was pretty muscular, and the husband looked pretty muscular. So our child's gonna be great genetics. Like,
my wife had a donk.
My
wife.
Speaking of donks, isn't that one of the first NPCs you come across as you're walking through the hall of the fucking vault? You're like, check out the ass on this one. And God, it has to be like Dexter's mom from Dexter's Laboratory,
Yeah.
gigantic. Mrs. Incredible from The Incredibles, gigantic.
That's why when you were walking by, I was like, cut your view to the right and check this butt out. It's the biggest one you'll see in the whole game.
For sure. And whatever programmer put that in, just
Thumbs up from me.
why? Like, why did you take all of that time to fucking program that fucking badong?
Because people like me and you would be walking through there and go, that ass.
I never would have noticed it if you didn't point it out.
Well,
I just would have flown by it. Like,
that
like let's
tells
get
the
my
list-
baby safe. Let's get my baby safe. Because I was 100% invested in my family life at this game. If you didn't notice, I was like, I love my husband. I love my son. We're gonna live a happy life in this vault. We're gonna live a happy life in this vault.
Yeah,
And
so
then-
you think.
Yeah, this game takes a dark turn. Fuck this game.
So you go into the vault. As you're going down, the bomb goes like, oh my god, my face hurts from laughing now.
Yeah.
So you go down the shaft and end up at the bottom, and everybody's like, welcome to the vault. Just follow in an orderly line. Everything's going to be fine. And of course, everyone around you is like, oh my god, what are we going to do? And people in the vault are like, calm down. It'll be fine. Welcome to the vault. Don't worry that your house just got blown up in a nuclear bomb disaster. Your new life is here. So you come walking in, and the lady's like, here, take your vault uniform and follow the doctor. Yeah. All right. The doctor's like, come on this way. So you start following him. This is where you see Badonkadonk Jr. over there. And she's like talking to these other people. And they're like, we don't know what to do. I can't believe it. Our house is gone and all this. She's like, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Just get in your pods and we'll decontaminate you and we'll bring you in. And I'll even let you stare at my ginormous ass while you're in there if it makes you feel better. I feel like she would talk like Fran Drescher. That's just me. So,
Maybe.
so you continue on. You put on your vault suit. You get into these quote-unquote decontamination pods. And you get cryogenically frozen because Vault Tech is a bunch of fucking douchebags.
Yeah, they doctor evil dar asses.
And flash forward, I want to say maybe like 195 years or 200 years or so. And
It's like 210 years, I think.
210?
Yeah.
Gotcha. So you get unfrozen, but your dude can't get out. All you can do is kind of see. And if you want, you can hit the glass. And
Yeah.
that comes back later. The reason I was telling you if you want to do that, there's a scene later where you, without spoiling too much, you revisit this scene in a memory from someone else's perspective, and you can look at yourself and you can see yourself beating on the glass and shit. Like, ah.
Gotcha.
So
This was the moment I became emotionally invested in this game.
yeah, you see this surly, dirty, scarred man with someone in like a hazmat looking suit come in, and they open the container that it contains my wife or your husband.
Yeah.
And they want the baby. She's trying to take the baby, and your significant other will not give the kid up. And this man, whose name I know, but I'm trying to avoid it for right now, pulls a pistol out and points a gun at him, and he's like, let go of the fucking kid.
Fuckers.
And he's like, you won't take Sean. Boom! Blows their
That dude-
fucking brains out.
That dude's gonna eat my fucking boots. Like,
Well,
that's my mission in this game. I don't care if I roll credits or not. That piece of shit is gonna fucking die.
Keep
Like,
playing.
That's my mission.
Keep playing. That's all I'll tell you. Keep playing. So he looks at you and he's like, at least we got one left. A backup. And then you become refrozen. You wake up and your pod opens and you're fine. You get out and you're like, what in the fuck? I always open the pod to my significant other and take the wedding ring off their finger.
Yeah.
Because that can get you some good caps in the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
There are people who they're like, oh, you sell the wedding ring? How evil. And I'm like, what
Yeah, that's fucked up.
you
I
need-
kept mine.
You need some caps, man. You gotta get. I sold my wedding ring and my wife's
I
wedding
found
ring.
so many caps already in this game. I didn't need to sell that shit.
Nah, fuck that. Give me that money.
You gotta start with your luck up high. That way you find more caps.
So you wander around the vault. First thing I noticed is everybody else is dead. They're
Yeah.
not frozen anymore. They're just dead. So I'm like, oh, that's morbid. You run out the door, start running around. You eventually find a police baton, and you're wandering around. There's a computer that has one of the mini games that are in the game. It's called Red Menace, and I believe Red Menace is the one that plays like OG Mario, like Donkey Kong, like running up the ladders, avoiding barrels.
Oh, like the super primitive platformer.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, OG Donkey Kong. Yeah, so you could find that, and then you come across your first rad roach, and your character's even like, giant roaches. What the hell is going on?
yeah.
And you just keep making your way through the vault, and it kind of just is like a little tutorial in a sense. And you get your way to the end of it. You find a 10mm pistol and some ammo. You open up the exit to the vault. You find a Pip-Boy. You use the Pip-Boy to open the vault access door. Boom, you are now in the Commonwealth. Welcome to the Wasteland, motherfucker.
Yeah, Wasteland.
And the first thing you want to do is go home. So you head back to Sanctuary, and lo and behold, the only fucking thing in Sanctuary, Codsworth.
Of course it's the fucking AI. Like,
He's like, oh, I can't believe it's really you. And you start talking to him, and he's just completely trying to avoid the fact that it's been like 200 years. He's like, sir, you must be hungry. Let me cook for you. And you go through this, and you can finally be like, Codsworth, are you all right? And he'll just break down. He's like, I tried to keep the floors buffed for the first 100 years, but do you know how hard it is to get nuclear waste out of linoleum?
yeah. I don't know about you or like how you talk to Codsworth and stuff, but I noticed when I was talking to him when I first got back to Sanctuary, every single dialogue option I put, I received a shit ton of fucking experience for. Like, I must have just been playing into the dialogue right or something like that.
Yeah. There's certain things that happen between dialogues where you can have like stat checks, and if you pass them, it'll give you experience.
Yeah, most of the dialogues I've encountered at this game, this point, I must be answering right because I get a shit ton of fucking experience from him.
Yeah, it's a good way to level up. There's a lot of like, I don't know if you can do a fully passive playthrough of this, but I know some of the older Fallouts you could play the entire game and only have to kill maybe 2 or 3 people.
That's what that's kind of what the plan was originally, but I've already killed too many people. Like, I've gone too far.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
I'm very trigger happy in this game.
It's like me in the Outer Worlds, but
So,
I was super trigger happy in that game, that playthrough.
yeah, you were.
This one, I was going to try to go more passive. I was going to try to just be like, yeah, I'm going to help you out, but I'm not going to help you out that way, sort of thing. But one of the very first missions doesn't, like, one of the very first, like, quests doesn't really give you an option. Like, you have to fucking help them at that museum or whatever, and they're just surrounded by people.
Yeah.
And that mission right there was like, all right, fuck it. I can't do this passive playthrough. I'm just going to have to total fucking Mad Max this shit. It's just going to be you either kill or be killed.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. Because this game is one of those games where you come running up on people, and it's kind of hard to tell if they're just somebody wandering the wasteland or if they're going to attack you.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's always good to be on guard. It's
Yeah.
always good to be on guard. Okay, so
I don't know about you, but I already maxed out my sneak stat line, and I do nothing but crouch and hide my entire movement in this game so far at this point.
yeah, getting sneak as early as possible is good. You'll be able to put more points in that as you get higher level. Like
You can go past the 10 stars or whatever.
No. I'm not talking about the agility thing. That's its own thing. But under the agility tree, there is a perk that makes your stealth better. And
Cool.
so I think the first one you can get at whatever level. The second one I think is like level 15. The third one's like level 20. You know what I mean? It goes like that. But maxing out agility is not a bad idea. I have perception, charisma, and luck maxed out.
Nice.
Just been putting in work, son.
Yeah.
So Codsworth is just like, after you talk to him, he asks you to go around and do a neighborhood check. So you just run around, kill some bugs that are in some houses, and then he's like, "Oh, I guess your family's not actually here." It's like, well, no shit. And he says that there are some people in Concord that have set up there that you might be able to talk to, and they can help you soon. All right. So you head to Concord, and there are raiders attacking. You take them out. Preston Garvey's up on the balcony. He's like, "Help us! There's raiders inside too. Please pick up that fucking laser musket and come in here and help." So I went in there, as I'm sure you did, killed all the fucking raiders. They let you in. They're like, "Hey, thanks. There's more of them. And I think the thing that'll save us, there's power armor up on the roof, but we need a power core. So you have to go down to the basement area and hack a terminal. And did you relatively easily figure out how to hack the terminal?
No.
No, it's
I don't remember having to hack a terminal, and like your gameplay sounds so much different from mine. I didn't like when I approached that museum. Garvey wasn't out on the balcony. I didn't come across any raiders in the town on my way through there. I got into the museum and cleared all of the raiders into the museum on my way up each floor. Then I ran into Garvey, and he's like, "Oh, by the way, we have this problem. It's outside." And then the mission bar has me go out to the balcony, and that's when Garvey comes out with me, and he starts yelling at the fucking raiders down on the ground. And then they're like, "Oh, by the way, there's a power armor and a minigun up on the roof. If you go get the power core from the basement, you can rip that minigun off the bird and rain fucking hell down upon these raiders." And that's what happened. Like,
yeah. So when you go down there, you have. Well, I had to hack the terminal to get to the power core. So once you get that, you head up into the power armor up the stairs on the top of the building, and you put the power core in. You hop in it, rip the minigun off, and you go for it. And I just jumped down. I let Garvey handle the ones on the roof, and I jumped down and just mow down everybody that's down there.
I jumped down and just mowed everyone at ground level too.
And
I think I used a bobby pin to pick that gate to the fucking power core.
That's a possibility. I didn't try that, so you might be able to do that.
I think it was like a novice level fucking lockpick. Every time I've tried to fucking hack a terminal, I fail. Like my hacking stat is super low.
So Mama Murphy kind of hints towards what's coming if you pay attention to her dialogue when you're going to head towards the power armor. She's like, "Be careful, kid. There's something coming, and it's angry."
Yeah.
Foreshadowing the fact that when you're out there fighting these raiders, out from the sewer busts a fucking deathclaw.
Yeah.
That you have to then mow down with the minigun.
Mm-hmm.
And once you take care of that thing, you go back inside. Preston thanks you for helping out. And then you escort them back to Sanctuary. And that's where they set up camp.
Yeah.
How much further than that have you gotten? Not much further?
I have gone to one other small settlement and have told them that I would clear them of their raider problems, but I haven't gotten any further than that.
Okay.
I mean, I've come across a couple of smaller buildings and some shit along the way. Like, I cleaned out the USAF Satellite Center Olivia, I think is what it's called. And there were some weapons and shit down there. There was a couple raiders in there, some experience to be had, I guess. And then I did find a robotics disposal center, and there is still a like fully operational, fully intact like security sentry that you can, with the terminal and the holodeck, like the holotape, you can pull out, eject, and move around with you. But it has the program to send that sentry to specific locations ahead of time to like clear it out for you.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I used it once. I used it on that satellite center actually, and he came in and he killed all of the raiders that were on the outside as like security detail or whatever. That's when I broke in, lockpicked myself in, and fucking cleaned out everyone else inside. There's probably about 8 raiders in there. It wasn't no big deal. My dog kicks ass. I think his name is Dog Meat.
Yeah, Dog Meat. Yes.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention that. You come across him at the Red Rocket Station when you're on your way to Concord.
Yep. Love that dog.
Yeah, he's awesome. So throughout the game, you can find little bandanas that he'll wear around his neck, and you can find little like steampunky looking goggles that he'll put on.
Yeah.
It's freaking adorable, dude. Like
I bet, but I'm not gonna dress my dog. It's a fucking wasteland apocalypse. Why the fuck do I need to dress him up?
I would put a bandana on him just because. Shows everybody he's not to be fucked with. It's a dog in a bandana, goddammit.
Yeah, for sure. I guess that works.
So I don't want to touch on too much more until you see some more of the game. I have made it through Diamond City, Good Neighbor.
What level are you up to?
Think I'm level 19.
Jesus Christ, yeah. I've got some catching up to do. I think I'm at level 5.
Yeah.
But like you touched at the beginning of the game, it's going to be hard for me to get some actual meaningful gameplay into this with me going back to work and having the kiddos. But,
yeah. So I mean, I'm
working on it.
It might be to the point that you'll learn about the end of this game through me.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So
What once I get back into the swing of things and everything like that, and the kiddo comes, like I'll probably end up watching you play Discord more often than not.
yeah, right.
Play on Discord more often than not.
Sitting there rocking the kid, just watching. Got a bottle.
Yeah, probably.
Well, then I'm going to shift talk over to some mods. And like we were saying earlier, I hooked you up with the unofficial patches and the achievements mod, which has got you all set. That's really all you need. In my opinion, those are the only mods that are a necessity for Fallout 4.
I don't know. This one mod that you showed me today seems like a necessity, but then again, we are wrestling fanatics. Like,
so I added a few different mods to my game just today. I'll talk about some other ones that I normally run, but these I added today just for funsies. One you didn't get to see because it wasn't nighttime. So I have a mod that every time I get experience, you hear Randy Savage's voice go, "Ooh yeah!"
nice.
And I have not stopped laughing at it since I installed it. It makes me giggle.
I wouldn't laugh either. It's like the Skyrim mod where every dragon is turned into Macho Man Randy Savage.
So speaking of that, I also downloaded a mod that turns every Deathclaw into Randy Savage Claw.
Oh, fuck yeah. Like, that's fantastic.
I will have to get some screenshots of that.
Whoever wrote those mods,
kudos
you get a
to
gold
you.
star. You win the internet for the day.
I will give you a thumbs up and kudos on Nexus for your contributions.
The cream always rises to the top.
So I did another mod that replaces all paintings in the game with paintings of Randy Savage or Macho King or just Macho Man. You know, it's all of it.
I need them all. Can you take the paintings like off the wall and shit, add them to your inventory?
No, but I think that in settlement building you can place paintings and it would just place a random picture of Randy Savage.
That's awesome.
The mod that you did not get to see is called The Man on the Moon, and it's just the moon, but it's a picture of John Cena's face.
Of course it is. God damn it. God damn it.
So you look up and it's John Cena.
Of course it is.
Oh man. I'm pulling up my Vortex right now to see what some of my other mods are. I know the one I was telling you about that I really like is called Sim Settlements.
Yeah, you were telling me about that one.
And it's like as long as
that sounds like one I might kick on because I get the aspect of being able to build the settlements as part of the gameplay and shit, but I don't have the time for that, and I don't want to do that. And if there's a mod that's going to make all of the other like settlers and villagers do that for me, I'm all for it. Like, yeah you guys build this shit up while I'm gone. Like,
and you can actually set it to where you don't need to give them any materials, and that they'll do everything on their own. Like right now, I have it set to where I have to set where the plots are at, and then they'll build stuff off the plots, or they'll add to structures they've already started. But you can make it where they'll just do it by themselves. And
yeah, I'll probably put that on because, like, if I had the more time and the dedication to actually do this game fully, I would be into it. I would probably put in the work to actually build these settlements. But at this point, it's like, fuck that. Like, I don't want to take my time to fucking scrounge for resources to fix this shithole up. Like,
yeah, I know. When I was giving you the walkthrough of my sanctuary, you were like, "Hot damn, son."
Yeah,
and I was like, "Oh, well, yeah. Let me explain how I did this. I didn't build all of this. I built a lot of it, but I didn't build all of it."
I was wondering. I was like, how the fuck did you build all that shit already? I was like, I can barely find the fucking resources as it is to make a fucking sleeping bag. How the fuck did you get all of these lights and the electricity and the fucking well and the water purifier and yeah, I'm probably gonna have to download that mod and put it on there so that they can fix up Sanctuary and shit while I'm gone, which will be all the time.
A few other mods I'm running. Enhanced Light and FX. It just makes lighting a little better. Some stuff that makes your characters look a little better. I have a follower mod. It's the only follower mod I use. It's called Heather Kasdan.
Yeah.
And she is the only follower that I really use. She's a badass, dude. And she's a mod, so like her voice is done by somebody. It's not using things from her little thing she likes to say is fan-fucking-tastic.
Yeah.
Fan-fucking-tastic.
That sounds very Boston-esque.
her goal is to kill Kellogg, which is the guy that you also want to kill yourself.
Oh, well.
And she wants to kill 50 Cent. Like, that's her first goal when you meet her. She has, like, this whole list. And you can end up... I think you can end up romancing her at some point if you get your affinity high enough with her.
Yeah.
I know there's a few other the girls in the game, or I guess in your case it's going to be the dudes or girls, whichever you choose. I think it goes both ways.
Yeah, I'll probably end up going both ways.
Nothing wrong with that. I also have a lot of gun mods that just add like real life weapons into the game.
Fair enough.
Like the Scar, the RU-556.
Yeah.
The M9. I have a couple mods that add.
So this is another game that has like a bajillion mods, like Skyrim, right?
I can tell you the exact number if you give me one moment.
Because Skyrim has so many.
I can tell you right now how many all of them have. So Fallout on Nexus Mods has a total of 34,200 mods.
Fuck, man.
Skyrim Special Edition has 28,000 mods.
Yeah.
But people modded the original Skyrim more than they've modded Special Edition. So the original Skyrim has 64.3 thousand mods. I mean, hell, Fallout 3 has 15,000, Oblivion has 29,000, New Vegas has 22,000.
Yeah.
And then you look at games that aren't Bethesda games. The Witcher 3 has 3.9 thousand. Stardew Valley has 5,000. Dragon Age has almost 3,000.
Yeah.
Kingdom Come Deliverance has 865. You know, it's like people mod the shit out of Bethesda games, dude.
Yeah, for sure. It sounds like it.
I mean, even Morrowind has, and Morrowind's an old game. It even has 7,300. So, I mean, people really do whatever they want. But that's because with every game, when you buy it, it comes with the creation kit and all of that. It comes with everything you need to make mods.
Oh,
it comes with the game.
So they encourage it almost.
They have come out and said that they almost rely on their modding community to fix bugs that they would never think to look for.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's why they have always endorsed that people can use the unofficial patches and things like that.
Yeah.
Have you found any bobbleheads yet?
No.
No, none of the bobbleheads?
Yes, I think so.
Those
maybe one.
I think those give you a bonus to whatever stat they are for whenever you find them, if I remember correctly.
I didn't pick it up. I just looked at it and I was like, "Oh, cool," and bolted.
Go back to the museum up on that desk and pick it up because eventually it'll come in handy. It'll come in handy with stats and stuff.
Yeah.
But I know we're closing in on an hour, and I don't want to touch on too much more until you get a little further into it. I think we've covered a good little bit at the beginning of the game, and next time, instead of trying to cover quests, I think I'm just going to delve into experiences, and I want to start that off right here. I'm going to end with an experience that I had earlier, that I sent to you so I could remember. So I was at I think it was called West Estate Heights or something like that, or Wesset Heights. It was some strange name, and there's a bunch of super mutants, so I'm just picking them off. I'm in third person view, and I'm just pop, 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 pop. My mod Scar with a silencer on the end, so I'm just going in there doing some work. Well, there is not only a legendary super mutant skirmisher, but there is also this one that has a name. I think it was Walter or something like that. I don't remember exactly what his name was, but he had a fucking rocket launcher. I was like, well, at this same time, I look up and see a Brotherhood of Steel ship coming overhead, which you'll see all that eventually. And I'm like, oh, okay, so cool, they're coming in to help. I just happen to be in the right place at the right time. Well, there's the back of a truck trailer type thing sitting there, and I hop into the back of it because there's some a locked chest, so I opened it up, got the ammo out of it and such, and I come walking out of the back of it to look up, only to see the vertibird, which is what they're called, vertibirds, is spiraling down towards the ground, and I said, oh shit, and ran back into the back of the truck thing, and the vertibird crashed on top of it. Boom! So outside of the walls I could see flames coming through the textures and flames flying at the doorway, and I'm just crouched down in this thing holy shit, and it blows up, and then all the cars around the thing blow up, so it's these massive explosions. And then when it was calmed down, I was like, holy shit, and I come walking out, And as I'm turning to my right, a rocket goes sailing past my dude, and I'm like, okay, so he's still alive. So then I had to sit there and have a gunfight with Mr. Rocket Launcher, and I finally fucking killed him and went and grabbed that.
Wow.
It was an intense little
That
scene.
sounds like an intense sequence. Like,
I was sure that I was gonna get blown the fuck up inside that thing, but it protected me. I felt like Indiana Jones in the fucking refrigerator.
oh god. I get that feeling, but fuck, that scene was dumb.
I don't think it's in Fallout 4. It might be in New Vegas, but you come across a refrigerator and the door is busted off of it, and there's just a skeleton with a hat and a whip in there.
Oh, interesting.
And it's basically like, yeah, a refrigerator's not gonna fucking protect you, bro. Like,
yeah, no, for sure. I'm gonna have to look for that because I've already come across a bunch of wild refrigerators. Like,
yeah, they're just scattered everywhere.
yeah.
Also, somewhere in Fallout 4, as I believe it's in all the Fallout games, you can come across a crashed UFO and get an alien blaster, which is probably one of the best guns in the game. But there's
I'm gonna have to look for that.
very limited ammo for it.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, how many UFOs are just fucking crashing on the Earth?
Well, apparently at least one every few years in the Fallout universe.
Apparently. Right?
Well, all right, man. Let's wrap it up here for this week. Is there anything else that you'd like to say? Things that you're looking forward to with the game? You just kind of interested?
No, I know we are planning on actually getting our Twitch channel up and running, so be on the lookout for whenever we're live streaming some stuff on Twitch. I think we're going to start very soon with Fall Guys, because who doesn't love some Most Extreme Elimination Challenge?
Yeah,
we'll probably end up Mystery Science Theater gameplay. Like,
yeah, we're gonna check it out and see what we can do.
yeah.
And I think that's at the Steam Machine Podcast on Twitch. You can just search the Steam Machine Podcast.
Yep, the Steam Machine Podcast on Twitch.
And there's also a chance that I will be live on Super Nerd Dalton, because I am very forgetful and I might forget to sign into the other one. But in any case, either one of those places you'll be able to find us streaming. But more often than not, it's going to be at the Steam Machine Podcast on Twitch. And speaking of, you can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/the Steam Machine Podcast, or you can catch us on Twitter at Steam_podcast. And other than that, man, if you could go to iTunes and leave us a 5-star review, that'd be rad.
Yeah.
We've gotten one, I think, which is more than I thought we would get at the start. So hooray!
Right.
So if we could get some more of those, it'd really help us out a lot with climbing up the massive wall that is all the video game podcasts in the world. Yeah. So with that note, we're gonna leave all you smooth skins to get back out there into the wasteland and find some shit. Go raid the Commonwealth. Tell us what you find. And maybe we'll share your stories live on air. So, for this week, I'm Dalton, he's Ryan, and as always, guys, take it easy.